If you want to know what I'm wearing on my eyes, you should definitely go over to my Instagram and TikTok, because I think I cannot upload the videos here because YouTube allows the short form content only to be exactly a minute, but my short form stuff is usually 1.5 minutes. But I wear both of the new Gloss Gods palettes, and let me tell you, they will knock you out of your stinking socks. They are awesome. Go follow me on Instagram, it's allogram_makeup, and on TikTok it's allogram.makeup. That's not what the video is about. We are going to rank all my Odens eye palettes, and this is the bulk that I own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 9 different palettes from them. I discovered Odens eye last year, and I think they are definitely the rising star of indie makeup. Like, you know, I feel like every indie brand has its like peak year, and last year it was definitely Odens eye. I think this year it's Nomad Cosmetics. I don't know what it is, but I feel like they are just punching and they're knocking out their like competitors. It's awesome. But Odens eye in general, I think first of all it's a very, very good brand. There are some controversies around them that make me think a bit, but the problem is a lot of them is just like hearing, and I don't have any like valid sources, and I hate to do things without any sources. If you have those, please provide me with that info. But one of those, for example, is that Odens eye is not a real company, because, I mean, okay, real thing. They are a Swedish indie brand, but they do have like an address in Sweden. I think it's in Malmö. But their whole manufacturing and their storage and where they send from is China. It's Hong Kong. I think it's Hong Kong. Yeah, I think it's distributed from Hong Kong. I'm sorry, that rose in Stockholm. And that has, it has kind of a private label taste. Like, it's a bigger company that make a lot of eyeshadow brands, and they just put the Odens eye logo on. And that would also explain, somebody in the Instagram comments got me on that, and on Reddit, I don't know, but that would explain why they have so many repetitive shades. We will talk about some of those, like the puke greens are in 3 or 4 palettes. It's the exact same shade. Like maybe the tiniest difference in the hue, but I don't know. I don't have a problem with private labeling, but I don't like when companies try to promote themselves as something that they clearly are not. And Odens eye is promoting themselves as like this super cool indie brand, which they are if they're owned by one person or like a few persons and not a bigger like mother company. But at the same time, just be honest, you know. For example, Cleona makes like very clear that they are sitting in their basement, or in the beginning they sat in their basement and they hand pressed their shadows. Slayfire Cosmetics, for example, one of the brands who make these incredible glitter palettes, she once said in her Instagram story or TikTok or wherever that you have to wait a bit longer for the palettes because she makes them and mixes a lot of them when they're ordered, and that's communicated on the website, that when you order, you pre-order, and you have to wait 3 to 10 days until it gets shipped out, because it has to like filled in the palette, which is fine to me for an indie brand. But if that leaves a bitter taste for you or not, you have to decide. I don't want to judge because I don't have valid sources. I have no idea if that is true, if those rumors are true. And another part of the internet is like, oh, they're labeling themselves as cruelty-free, but China has completely different like rules when you are cruelty-free or not. And I'm not a cruelty-free channel, I don't care for that. That's why it's nothing I want to judge on, but I know that some people do care for that, so I just wanted to mention that. But again, if you have any like valid sources where this is discussed and showed, and yeah, just a solid information, then let me know, provide me with that info. I'd like to educate me on that. But today we are here to rank them all, and let's head into that. Number 9 in my least favorite is actually the Planet Spirit palette that is from the collab between Odens Eye and Betty Jean or Betty Bean or whatever her name is. Let me just tell you that overall I like this concept of the palette. I think it's really nice, but it's not a palette I can use alone, and that makes me a little bit fizzy about that because I don't have light enough shades to blend, and Odens Eye, like, they know how to punch you with color, which I love, but again, at the same time, the Planet Spirit palette is definitely more of a companion palette. I personally need another palette to make this work, but when I have, the looks are incredible, but that's why it's not my favorite. It's not bad, so it's not like the last place that I want to declutter that palette. Now I definitely am going to keep that, but in comparison with the other Odens Eye, this is just my least favorite. And number 8, Sole Mona 2. I don't know what it is with this color story, but something inside here just throws me off. Maybe it's the oranges, or I mean, if I don't know, is it this side or is it that? I have something in this palette does not sit right with me, and I can't point out what. But it's definitely more user-friendly than the Planet Spirit one, so I can make multiple different styles and looks with just this palette without adding a companion. But for example, let me just pack that, like these two combined, you can create wonderful looks. I think that is just a match made in heaven. But again, it's not sitting right with me, so that's why this is number 8. Number 7 is surprisingly the Hela palette. This is the one that is Odens Eye and Angelica, Ninquis or Angelica, and let me just tell you, this palette is discontinued, so you can't get it anyway, except you buy this used, which is fine to me. I think this palette would be perfect if the pinks were not in here. They just kind of bother me because I see where the vibe is going, and I mean it's wonderfully working with each other, but at the same time I either do a pink look or I do the green look, or I stay in like this 6 pans here to make a very nice pinkish dark look, but I rarely mix the pink and the green, even though when I see these two mattes besides each other, oh, they look really good. Maybe I should overthink that, but at this moment, this is number 7. Number 6 is from the latest collection. This is the Stone and Rock palette. Do you see what I mean? The repeat shades. Let me just hold up Hela. Or Hela? Whatever. There is a difference, yes, but the vibe, you know, here. Madness in here, moss in here. Do you know what I mean? I just get to similar vibes from them, and that actually throws me off a bit. I don't know. I do though think that the Stone and Rock palette is a beautiful curated palette. That's why I like it more than the other 3. And I see myself wearing this a lot. I did a lot of cool looks, and I even did a video on the complete collection. Well, the 2 eyeshadow palettes. I am not interested in the jewelry. And I feel like they amped up the quality in this a bit. Especially like their shimmer shades or their metallics, they are a bit better than in older palettes. But overall, it's again a green color story for some reason, which is the 3rd or the 4th one, the 4th in the palettes that I own. I don't have anything before Sole Mona 2, which is like the oldest one from their release cycle. Beautiful palette, but just like in the middle. Number 5, another green palette, and this is the Flora story. This is Odens Eye X Makeup Just for Fun. Same vibe as Hela. Sorry, greens, and here it's purple and not pink. They are beautiful. Although I think that they fucked up the formula in this one. So for example, I had nearly no color payoff with Clover, but Sage punched me in the face. The shimmers are just as good, and I'm really annoyed from this influencer collab that they made shades like Lush in here, which is a beautiful satin shade. Because, I hope, can you see this? There is still glitter from the spray over around the corners, but in the center you are left with a satin shade. And I'm sorry, but eyeshadow with glitter spray over is so 2001. Don't do that. Overall, I rank this higher than the other ones because this color story, the look of it, appeals a lot to me, and I am very, very inspired when I see this. Number 4, and my favorite out of their influencer collab, is actually the Sea Talk palette. This is Odens Eye and Lauren May Beauty. This is neutral and blue with 2 pops of colors, and for whatever reason, that works. Electric Kelp is a shade to die for. This is so pretty. And yes, my favorite look was the most obvious one. Doing some neutral, darken that with a blue, and Electric Kelp in the inner corner. And that is, oh, just so pretty. I could wear this every day if I did not have 88 eyeshadow palettes. But I think this is still available on the website. They, for some reason, did not sell out as fast as the other influencer collabs. But if you were to choose which one of the 3 collab palettes you should get, go for the Sea Talk. Lauren did such an amazing job, and I just want to point out here that Odens Eye made like sponsored ads, like on their own website, the ad posts for this collab. And to this day, this ad is still wrong because they just fucked up Lauren May Beauty's Instagram handle, which is, sorry, but you shouldn't do that. You just should. Reread your post that you want to sponsor on Instagram. So now the top 3, and these will probably surprise you because for the longest time, number 1 and 2 were from the same collection, but there is another palette, and if you are very, very aware of the whole Odens Eye collection, what they do have, you know what palette just came in the way. But number 3, unfortunately not available anymore, Odens Eye Merry Christmas palette. And this was the first palette that I actually got from Odens Eye. I saw a YouTube video when I was on the treadmill, and it was Morgan Turner makeup, and I saw how she unboxed this beautiful palette. I stopped the video, went over to the Odens Eye website, checked if I had to pay any duties if they ship to Germany, which I don't have to, and I ordered that. I think I said it in some video already. If you were in that position where you decided last year that you don't need this, and now a lot of people, they do regret that, I feel super sorry for you, because this is a piece of makeup history, I tell you that. They sold out in hours, oh, because it's so pretty. But do you see it again? The green vibe, matcha cookie, which is the same as Moss Inhaler, and Madness in the Stone and Rock. That is what I mean with repeat shades. Like Christmas Tree is in some other palettes too. Gingerbread is double. This New Year shade I found dupes in the Odens Eye collection from. That's just... I get it. You cannot reinvent the wheel. You cannot reinvent colors. That is just impossible. But from a collector's view, I expect not to reuse old pans that you might have still sitting in your warehouse, because that is the vibe that I get from that. I don't know if that is the truth. I don't want to say something that is not real, like, because I just don't know it. But again, a beautiful palette. If you can get this, like, buy it used on eBay, on whatever makeup retail, just do it. And now number 2, and that is as surprising to me as to you probably. The Jewels and Gem palette from the, what was the collection called where these were in? Yours? Something like that. This palette is so stunning. This is the colorful emo grunge that I was looking for my whole life. Until I got this palette because I didn't know that I was looking for it. And this is just stunning. These are still available, and if you were to choose this or these stones and rocks, go for this one because this is so worth it. Number 1, and if you paid attention, you probably know what the number 1 palette is, and I mentioned it already a couple of times, and I think it's even in my ranking the official number 1, but I'm not sure. I have to look that up. But the Odens Eye Christmas Eve. I cannot put my finger on what exactly this is that makes me so attracted to this palette. This for sure is not a Christmas palette to me. This is the definition of the perfect winter day because it's a little bit darkish but not too dark. A little bit of the sun is peeking through clouds, there is just snow, the sun is hitting the snow and it's reflecting, it looks like sparkles everywhere. There is a lake somewhere that has ice on it and it's just a peaceful environment. I don't know if that picture in my head makes any sense with this palette, but to me, it absolutely does. And it was not a me video if I had not something negative to say about it because the vibe is similar, very similar, not the same, but still similar. So if you don't have this, but you want to have this, but you are not able to get this, try the Jewels and Gem because as I said, the vibe is similar, but I don't get the same feelings from this palette, you know? I don't get this winter feeling. This has much more of a grunge feeling to me, like the grunge emo one. I would wear this palette to a concert, to be honest, where I just get probably fucked up in the mosh pit, but I would still wear it. And this one just gives this peaceful winter vibe to me, and that just makes it my favorite Odens Eye palette, and I'm pretty sure in my ranking this is also my favorite palette out of all in my collection. So I hope you enjoyed hear me rambling about Odens Eye palettes. I could talk about eyeshadow palettes all day. Thank God the internet exists because I don't have anybody to talk to about makeup, so I just talk to strangers on the internet who might or might not be interested in what I have to say. But you know what? It just makes me happy. And it doesn't matter if a video gets 0 views or 1,000 views. I'm just happy talking about makeup, and there are some people out there that watch these videos and that get just as excited as me, and if I am able to spark that tiny bit of joy that I feel with makeup through the camera, through the internet and through your monitor and inspire you to do something with your own makeup and maybe even show me something, that would make my day. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked that. Do whatever you have to do. Subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing. Is there something else? I don't think so. But I will see you in the next one.